Hello again. The police in Britain are lately making a song and dance about the fact that they have black homosexuals working for them. This is all very nice, and they have one particularly photogenic chap who wishes everybody to know what he gets up to in the bedroom, and have plastered his image over posters and advertisements on the internet. The thumbnail to this video shows the man, and he is quoted as saying that being supported as my true self is a feeling like no other. I honestly do not have the faintest idea what he means by this. What I do know is that the first question I ask myself when I encounter a police officer is not, does this man regularly commit sodomy when he is off duty? But rather, is he honest, reliable, and good at catching criminals? It is a matter of supreme indifference to me what he gets up to in his spare time. This ghastly poster epitomises everything which is wrong with the British police these days. They are so obsessed with ensuring that they have enough diversity, they seem to have forgotten the main role of the police, which is to preserve the peace and deter crime. I am reminded of the calls for us to protect the NHS last year, when of course it should be the other way round, with the NHS protecting us. We see exactly the same weird and distorted perspective here. Why a police officer would be talking about being supported as my true self is an absolute mystery to me. I don't expect a police officer to need to be supported. I want him to support me when I'm a victim of crime. I have no interest at all in his true self, but my interest is rather limited to his ability to apprehend and bring to justice the man who burgled my home or stole my car. Of course, using this metric and forgetting about the private lives of these poor delicate souls who need to be supported in being their true selves, things are not going too well. Although reported crimes have been rising steadily since 2010, arrests, by contrast, have fallen dramatically. In 2010, 1.3 million people were arrested. Last year, this had fallen to 623,000, about half as many. Reported crimes, though, had risen by about 1 million in the same period. So more crimes are being committed, but the police are catching only half as many of the criminals. Now, I'm not any kind of expert in either penology or forensic science, but I cannot help but suspect that there is a connection between the frantic need to demonstrate that there are enough black homosexuals and Muslims being employed and the seemingly growing inability of the police to catch people who are breaking the law. Another figure worth thinking about in this context is the number of police stations which no longer have public counters where ordinary people can go and speak to police officers. I'm sure that older viewers will remember when one might pop into the police station to hand in some lost property, or report that you had found a Colorado beetle on your allotment, or to ask about a dog licence and stuff like that. Police are far too busy these days receiving support to be their true selves to bother about trivial matters like that. The Metropolitan Police have since 2015 closed down 36 police stations and coincidentally raised £1 billion by selling off the sites. Since many Londoners now have no local police station and the chances of seeing a police officer patrolling the streets on foot are zero, it means that ordinary people have virtually no chance of meeting a police officer in the flesh. Ring to report a crime, and most of the time they won't actually attend, preferring just to issue a crime number and not bother to investigate. I suppose that might be part of the explanation as to why arrests have halved in the last 12 years. All of it which brings me back to the new recruiting campaign, which is aimed at homosexuals and black people, or, as in the case of their poster boy, black homosexuals. A good example of intersectionality there, I fancy. Of course, more Muslims are needed as well. In the description to this video, I give a link to the website of the National Association of Muslim Police, and I honestly had to check carefully that this was the British police. The design of the thing was that it could be from a Muslim country. It was seemingly established, the Association of Muslim Police that is, to create a stronger network of Muslim officers and staff within the police service and support their religious and well-being needs. More police officers there needing support, you see, rather than thinking about how best to support us, the public. I think a lot of those Muslims are trying to find their true selves. Once again, the emphasis is on what the police can do for them, rather than for the community they serve. Can I wear my hijab on duty, is a question asked. Of course. Will I be able to observe Ramadan at work? Yes, officers are encouraged and supported to practice their religion. During Ramadan, you can speak to your force about altering your shift pattern to help work around meals and ensure you have enough rest. That's reassuring. Meanwhile, the police one actually sees are surly and scruffy and don't seem to have much use for the public. I fear that the division which has now opened up between the police and public is widening every day, which is a matter for regret.